What's happening, folks? What's happening, folks? You know the vibes, you know the energy. You know what's going down. We back up in here, man. We back up in here and let's talk about it. We got Hayfield. We got Hayfield versus VHSL. The witch hunt continues. The witch hunt continues. Let me fix my camera a little bit. Fix my camera a little bit. The witch hunt continues, man. They just won't stop. They just won't stop. Quick rundown. So listen, the situation at hand now. We've seen Hayfield. You all let me start somewhere else. Let me start by first and foremost. What's up? Let me start by first and foremost saying, for those of you that know, I'm trying to get this glare out the back. Hold on one second. Didn't bring my light up, so I'm using the regular lamp, but I don't like the glare. Hold on 1 second. There we go. All right, there we go. So back to what I was saying, man. Let's get to it. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, as they can continue to come in. Hopefully they continue to come in. Let's get them in here so I don't have to keep going back and forth because I only want to say these things one time. I don't want to keep, repeating myself because there is some information. There's a lot of information. What up, Sid? What up? There's a lot of good information, man. Listen, for those that know, I've been following this story since day one. I'm talking about since the day that Daryl got hired. If you go back and you look through the YouTube list, you see I did interviews. I've sat down with Coach Daryl Overton. So I'm sure most of you are following this story if you've been following my page. It took a turn for the worse. Some of you seen the post that I made, and it's taking a turn for the worse. Now, I'm seeing some of y'all comments on Facebook, and I'm sorry, but unfortunately, they just don't sit right with me. They don't sit right with me. And the reason they don't sit right with me is because a lot of y'all are just talking to talk, but you don't have the facts. You don't have the facts. Do I have the video? Yes, I have the video. Before anyone asks, the audio, I should say. I do have the audio, yes. I have the 30-minute long, not the chops and the snippets and all of that good stuff. I have the 30-minute long audio of a lot of things being said. The Hayfield versus VHSL thing has gotten tricky and it's gotten real crazy. I do know exactly why the courts overturned the decision made by VHSL, because individuals in VHSL that made the decisions wasn't supposed to make the decisions. Now, first and foremost, I have spoken to individuals on the inside. I have spoken to individuals in the media that's been writing articles. I've spoken to individuals from the Hayfield side. I've spoken to individuals from VHSL. I will never give out any of my information or my sources. Majority of this stuff I know for myself just from being around the situation and following the situation from day one and just from knowing some individuals that's within the situation. I want to start by saying a lot of you people that's in the comments that's just talking, you might want to sit this one out because a lot of y'all are involved with schools that do the same thing. A lot of y'all are involved with schools that are doing the same thing. And a lot of the schools that are bitching and complaining and crying are doing the same thing. Just being honest, they are. They're doing the same thing. For example, South County's doing all the bitching and complaining, and that's who I got the audio of. South County, the meeting, the audio that the head coach from South County, and his group of individuals, and the things that they were saying, which is crazy to me, but we'll get to that in a minute. But after doing a little bit of homework, and the numbers could be, give or take 1 or 2 kids, but South County's doing a lot of complaining about transfers, but they got 4 transfers from Hayfield. West Springfield, I believe you have 1 or 2 kids from Hayfield. I'm seeing Fairfax, who has kids from multiple different schools. Name is on the list. So it's weird. And then I'm seeing people in Nova Legends and the real Prince William County. And let me tell you something about Prince William County. Let me say something real quick. Dude, you're goofy, bro. Like, you're goofy. You were riding with these people to the fullest. And now it seems like you only post when it's negative. You don't post when they win. You don't post when they do something positive. You only post when it's negative. And that bothers me. I'm just going to be honest with you. And I'm not picking a side. I'm picking a side of physical facts. I come from that being accused, being tagged, being labeled certain things from people that don't know you and don't know the situation. So me, I go based off of physical facts, and I have a lot of physical facts here. Oh, I got a lot of physical facts, some in which I'm going to post on the screen. So don't even worry your pretty little heads about it. But first of all, let's clear up the narrative. And this, again, information I got after talking to multiple individuals, not just one side, from different sides, and also talking to individuals that's in the need to know, but is not actually involved in the situation. And again, disclaimer, I am a independent media platform. I don't work for nobody. I can say what I want. I'm not breaking no laws. Back to what I was saying. Let's talk about it. A lot of y'all are posting and saying that they went to court because of transfers. False statement. That's not why they went to court. Their transfers were actually cleared in August 22nd to be exact. August 22nd to be exact. So this is not really over transfers. And if we're going to talk transfers, let's talk some numbers when it comes to the transfers, right? Let's talk numbers if we're going to talk transfers. The number 30 is bull. It's not 30 kids. What happened is they're trying to be slick, and they're putting anybody who was not on the roster last year that didn't graduate down as a transfer. And that's BS. They're putting eighth graders, kids who were eighth graders last year that are now freshmen, on the transfer list. These are kids that have no connections to Overton as a high school coach at all. A transfer is not when somebody moves. They move. Transfer is when you go from a member school to another member school. So if you're an eighth grader and you haven't played it down in high school football, how can they put you down as a transfer when you're starting your high school career at Hayfield? Again, physical facts. These are physical facts. These are not my opinions. So I'm asking questions to you guys that I have to label some of y'all as haters at this point, because you're really just waiting on the downfall. You want and you're praying for the downfall because some of y'all feel that you have a chance. And we'll get into that as well. Because a lot of y'all that's bitching and complaining, you have absolutely no chance whatsoever with or with Hayfield in the playoffs. A lot of y'all have no chance of winning anyway. A lot of y'all have no chance of winning anyway. Okay? So, back to what I was saying. They're counting some of these transfers that are not transfers. Yeah, it's cool when they do it, right? Right. So a lot of you, and I'm gonna try not to get caught up in the comments so I can keep moving with what I'm saying. So a lot of the transfers that they're saying are the 30 count transfers. They are not transfers. They're not transfers. They're counting eighth graders who are coming in as freshmen. Yes, some may know who Daryl Overton is, but they're not transfers. If we want to talk transfers, shout out to Bravo, I'm on my water shit. If we want to talk transfers, y'all want the exact number? I have the exact number. It was 14 kids that transferred into Hayfield. 14 transfers that were connected to Coach Overton. There were 14 transfers. Only 11 of them transfers got cleared. 3 of them were deemed ineligible. Those 3 did not leave the school. They still stayed at the school. All 3 of them probably could have went to another school, private school, public school, and been starters. Okay? So again, it was not 30 transfers. It was 14 transfers. 11 got cleared. 3 did not get cleared. 2 of them didn't get cleared until they won their appeals. And that's when all the bullshit started. And this is where the problem lies with me. Because it is my understanding, and I found out, VHSL was involved and included in the entire process of clearing those 11 or not clearing those 3. Or not clearing those 3. So in the entire 14, I'm gonna say this again. In the entire 14 kids that were transfers, only 11 played. Out of those 11 that actually were cleared, only 5 of them were starters last year. So this whole mindset that he brought in a whole team, or that Hayfield brought in a whole team, and then violating all these recruiting violations and things of that nature is BS. It's BS. So that narrative needs to be pushed to the side. Again, since April, I'm looking at my notes, excuse me. Since April, VHSL has been included in clearing of these players. 13 different meetings in total. 13 different meetings in total. So my question is, if VHSL was included in the clearing of all of these players, and they were including and they set in on 13 different meetings, whether it be Zoom or in person, they were included in 13 different meetings about the clearing of these players. What's going on here? 2 of the players that finally were deemed eligible were not deemed eligible at first. VHSL didn't get their panties in a bunch until the other 2 that were deemed ineligible won their appeal. So originally, it was 9 that was cleared until those 2 won their appeal. Then it became 11 that was cleared. That's when Dale Egan, you've made yourself famous, sir. Because Dale Egan, you were like the puppet master behind all of this stuff in Fairfax County. Because Dale Egan, you too have your personal agenda. You know, the name Dale Egan's popped up a lot of times in some of the paperwork and a lot of the conversations. Dale Egan's name has popped up a lot on social media. So I'm speaking on him in the sense of his name has become public knowledge. Again, I'm breaking no rules and no regulations. But Mr. Dale has been the push behind all of this. For those of you that don't know who Dale is, again, I've done my homework. And again, I've been a part of this situation since the day that Overton has gotten hired. So before you start hitting me up and asking me where I get my information from, I'm an independent media group. I do my homework. I'm on multiple social media platforms, and a lot of people talk within the comments. They do. So again, Dale's name has popped up a lot of times because Dale is the push behind a lot of this. See, Dale used to be the interim athletic director. And again, you see me checking my notes. Daryl used to be an interim athletic director. See, once I seen Daryl's name popping up a lot, Dale's name popping up a lot, and I'm going to say DE from this point on. So once I started seeing DE's name pop up a lot, I wrote in my notes. I needed to find out who he was. I needed to find out why his name keeps popping up. I need to find out why he keeps pushing this issue. I needed to find out why he has such a big issue with Hayfield. I needed to find that out. And then come to find out his issue isn't with Coach Overton. No, his issue isn't with Coach Overton. His issue isn't with the transfers. No, his issue is with Hayfield itself. Because Mr. DE used to be the interim athletic director until the new one was hired. And something tells me that a DE had already had a coach in mind, which is probably why some of the other parents are upset. I think they felt like they were going to hire within, but they didn't. They brought in another athletic director. That athletic director brought in Coach Dora Overton. So DE's been pushing this thing ever since. But again, I'm going to say it for those that didn't hear it the first time. There was not 30 transfers. There was originally 9 that was cleared and was deemed eligible for play. 2 others appealed the decision. They then won their appeal. I'm not going to say no names. I'm not going to do that. If the parents want to comment their names, then that's their choice. I'm not going to say no names. There were 2 other that won their appeal. Then it became 11 that was cleared. 3 were deemed ineligible. They did not play, but they didn't leave the school. So that whole concept of they only came for athletics, if that was the case, wouldn't those 3 had left the school and went and played football? One who was a senior, I know that to be a fact, didn't play it down. Know the young man personal. Not too well, but personal enough to know him when he sees me, he speaks. And when I see him, I speak. Share the same field with him. So again, Whitney had left. So the whole narrative about they went to court for transfers, no, that's not why they went to court. No. So see, let's get into that. We're gonna separate from the transfer. We're gonna skip from the transfers, and we're gonna go into why all of these investigations took place. Okay. VHSL has been setting in, and I'm going to repeat this for those that didn't hear it at first. VHSL has been involved, included, and known of this entire process. Okay? They've been involved since let me make sure I get it right, since April. They've been involved. Again, they set in on 13 different meetings throughout this process of getting these kids cleared. All right? Now, I'm trying to figure out why, if VHSL was included in this process, and they felt like something was wrong this entire time, why was there no games forfeited? If VHSL felt that they were using ineligible players, why was there no forfeits? If VHSL has known of this situation since April, why do you wait till October, I believe it was? Why do you wait until the postseason, the beginning of the postseason, to try to enforce a punishment for sportsmanship, not transfers? So can we stop going online and talking about transfers? Can we stop going online and saying that this was because of transfers? Because it was not because of transfers. No, sir. It was not because of transfers. They did everything they were supposed to do. An investigation. Let's take it to that route. Let's make a left and get off the interstate for a second, and let's go locally, right? We're not going to go state. We're going to leave the interstate of VHSL, and now we're going to take this exit ramp and we're going to go locally. There was an investigation done locally. No founding. And then all of a sudden, the county does an investigation. The county investigation, from my understanding, was done by, hold on, I want to make sure I get this right. The Fairfax County investigation was done by a former attorney general. Not just some random who's who. Fairfax County's investigation was led by a former attorney general, Not just some random he say, she say, not somebody's buddy, not somebody that's in the good old boys group or none of that. It was done by a former attorney general. I seen a post early on Facebook. My man RC made a comment about integrity. What more integrity? A former attorney general. You don't think that he has integrity? Do you really think that with everything that he's been through, dealt with in life, the levels that he's reached in life, that he cares about who wins or loses a football game in high school? No, I feel like he did his job very thoroughly and nothing was founded. But these are the facts that nobody wants to talk about. Everybody wants to voice their opinions, and you have a right to voice your opinion. But here in the locker room, or as my man Maniac King would say, LLR, and here in LLR, we thrive off of facts, physical facts, things that have been stated by those in the need to know, things that have been stated by those that are in the actual situation. So again, the Fairfax County, I repeat, the Fairfax County investigation was done by a former Attorney General. That is an individual who has sit at the highest level. That is an individual who takes his life, his career, his job serious. That is an individual who has no horse in the race. Did the investigation, there was no founding. Now, VHSL, we know VHSL stepped in after there was no founding. They stepped in. They did an investigation, but the difference between their investigation and the investigation that was done previously, the investigation that was done by Fairfax County, they interviewed like 20-something families, 20-something individuals. They did a thorough investigation. They asked questions. Thorough. They did interviews. They talked to coaches. They talked to parents. They talked to players. Thorough interview. VHSL, I believe they said they talked to like 10 people. They talked to like 10 people? What? So 2 other investigations, nothing was found. And VHSL does an investigation and talks to 10 people, and then all of a sudden you find something. No, you didn't find nothing. Because in the court, right? So we know the pattern, Hayfield files the appeals. They don't win the appeals. VHSL and tries to enforce the ban. Hayfield fires back and says, no, we're not standing for this. We did nothing wrong. You've done your investigations. You found nothing. Now you go into the book and you dig and you dig and you dig in your rule book. You got to blow dust off of it because you probably haven't looked at this rule in decades. You dig and you dig and you find a rule about sportsmanship. Sportsmanship was what you were going to hang your hat on to try to ban a program full of kids. Sportsmanship was what you're going to hang your hat on to ban them for 2 postseason playoffs. Not one, not just this year and next year. For sportsmanship? Because you couldn't find nothing else. It's kind of like the real life legal world where the police grab you and then they stack you with these crazy charges that sound a lot alike just to make sure something sticks. Because you couldn't find nothing else. VHSL, not saying the entire VHSL, but whoever handled this part, because you couldn't find nothing else. You trying to ban these, give these people a 2-year postseason ban for sportsmanship. Unbelievable that you would hang your hat on that. No, you didn't expect Hayfield to file an injunction. You didn't expect Hayfield to file an injunction. And they did. And they did. And they filed the injunction, and they had everything they needed. They were ready to rock and roll. And I don't think you guys expected Hayfield to do that. But they were ready to rock and roll. They had all their ducks in order because they hadn't done nothing wrong. They did everything they were supposed to do. They did everything they were asked to do. The 3 kids that didn't get cleared, they didn't allow to play. The other kids that got cleared, VHSL, you knew. You were included. You sat in on 13 meetings. You were in the process. And that's crazy that people say trust the process, but then when the process prevails in a way that they don't like, then it's fuck the process. And now it's let's go with our opinions, because that's what VHSL went into the courtroom with. Yep. Public knowledge, folks. It's public knowledge. That's what VHSL went into the courtroom with. Opinions, feelings, and emotions. It was said to be stated, allegedly, in the courtroom, it was said to be stated in the documents that VHSL, whoever was in charge, stated after interviewing certain coaches and individuals, they felt that their credibility wasn't good because they wasn't as consistent as they felt they should be. VHSL didn't say that. We found this individual that was ineligible. We found out this individual was this. We found out this individual was that. No, VHSL said, and this is why the courts and the judge, who from what I was told, allegedly chewed VHSL apart. This is what the courts and the judge said to VHSL. You have no physical evidence. You have no proof. Show me. This is a courtroom. I am a judge. I need physical proof that they're doing something wrong, illegal, violation, whatever you want to call it. And then the judge, in fact, said, wait a minute. Based on your rules, VHSL, you can't even make this decision. Your ban is null and void because you, VHSL, by your rules, can't even make that decision. Oh, and the rules was pulled up. Yeah, the rules was pulled up in the court. You know, rules like this one. Rules like this one right here. That says the executive director is authorized and required to impose patches on penalties on member schools consistent with league rules and regulations and penalties specifically adopted by the executive committee. The penalties of suspension, probation may be imposed by such committees as have been empowered with such authority. See 31-1. Guess who has 31-1? I believe this next one is 31-1. And 31-1 says the district council or the district board is who's supposed to make these decisions. Based on your rules. These are your rules, VHSL. See, I do my homework and I keep telling y'all, everybody's like, where does he get his information? He must have talked to one side. No, I do my homework. This is my 9 to 5. LLR is my 9 to 5. So when I speak on topics, I keep telling you people, I do my homework. Unlike a lot of you article writers who are biased to one side because you feel like you got to cater to the county, I am independent. So I do my homework and I tell the truth based on facts, physical facts, like this one right here. And I'm sure y'all can see it clear enough to read it. But based on VHSL's rules, and the last one just told us, this one here, just told us to see 31-1, right? Well, here is, my bad. It told us to see, you see it. Well, here we have them. These are their rules. The committee has to do that. The committee has to make that decision. It is on the committee to decide. These are their rules. So when the judge looked at these rules, the judge said, wait a minute, VHSL, you're breaking your own rules. The judge said you're breaking your own rules. That's what he said. The judge said you're breaking your own rules. I gave you the numbers to go look at. They tell you where to go. These are the 3 rules. Let me put it back up there. These are the 3 rules. If you want more information on this rule here, go to 31-1. Go look at it. This is one of the rules that the judge said that VHSL broke themselves. Or let me rephrase that. They didn't break it. They tried to go around it. He tried to bypass the committee that was supposed to be making this decision, who had actually already made their decision. We'll go back to that. This is another one that put emphasis. This isn't 31-1, my bad. But this is another one that the judge said put emphasis on the committee, the district council. You know, the ones that performed the investigation prior to VHSL getting involved? Yeah, those guys. The ones that found nothing. You know, the investigation that was done by the attorney, the former attorney general, and then he turned it over to the district, Fairfax County, and they made their decision. When they cleared the players, August 22nd. So again, I'm trying to figure out what it was that made VHSL double back. What was it that made VHSL double back and try to issue a ban in October when they knew that the county itself had already cleared the individuals in August? What made you wait from August to October to try to enforce a ban? But it didn't matter because the judge seen through it. The judge said he didn't have enough, evidence. And you're still fighting. And I get it. December something, they got some type of meeting going on December 4th or whatever the case may be. And that's crazy that it's gotten to that. It's crazy that it's gotten to that. But what's even crazier is I have the audio. The audio that's been posted all over social media. That is now public knowledge. Again, public knowledge. I'm not breaking no violations, no rules. It's not illegal to repost what you see. So again, it falls in my lap, the audio. Now, the school, the county, other coaches in the school, they wasn't happy about this. Again, this letter too, all over social media, emails and all of that. Let's look at these schools. Look at the schools. Let's look at the schools. Let me square this up a bit. Let me square this up a bit for you so we can look at the schools. Let's look at what it says right there. Fairfax County High Schools, Trey Taylor, Lake Braddock Secondary Schools, Mike Daltrey, West Springfield, Anthony Parker, South County High, Gary, West Potomac, Chadwick, Louisville, my bad, Chadwick, Louisville. I was about to say. Oh, I'm going to play it at the end. It's 30 minutes long, so I'm going to play it at the end. I just wanted to put these physical facts out there, Kevin, so that people could actually see that a lot of the things that's being said are false narratives. This was no longer a transfer issue as of August 22nd. After the investigation done by the former Attorney General on behalf of Fairfax County, the transfer issue was over and done with in August. This became personal when two of the kids that VHSL denied filed their appeals and they won their appeals. That's when it became personal. That's when VHSL decided they wanted to try to step in and overstep their own rules, as I just went over. And because the court turned it around, we're now here, where Fairfax County, the city of Fairfax County Schools, has fired their attorney. Conflict of interest. Conflict of interest. They fired their attorney. Jeez. Are you that mad? Are you that mad? Seriously? You see the teachers involved? You see the teachers involved?
Getting directions to Val.
You see the teachers involved and what schools. And this is crazy to me that this many schools would come together. It is crazy to me that this many coaches, head coaches, we talk about integrity. I look on Facebook and I see the comments and I see the post and I see where we talking about integrity and where's the integrity and where's this and where's the fairness and where is this? What happened till innocent till proven guilty? Because I don't see this much energy for a couple of other schools that have won state titles with quote unquote stacked teams that you're alleging that Hayfield now has. I know a school in Loudoun that did it. I know a few other schools is doing it right now. And that's why I said in the beginning of this live that some of you schools, some of you coaches, some of you fans might want to set this out because I've been behind the scenes of high school football this year. And I know for a fact that there's a lot of local schools, 703, 540, 757. All schools are doing it. But see, this here is a witch hunt. They've been after this staff since freedom. They've been after this staff since freedom. And I don't know what they did in freedom. I don't know what happened in freedom. I wasn't as involved. I was more in my little league football thing. I wasn't as involved. But I told y'all this year that I was going to get more involved in the high school stuff. I told you I was going to start speaking on stuff that needed to be spoke on because not everybody has a platform or a voice. So I'm a voice. I'm a platform. I'm confused. But it doesn't stop there, folks. No, it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. These coaches decided. Again, these coaches decided. The coaches decided. And the reason I say the coaches decided because I have heard and I have spoken with individuals that have spoken with the athletic directors and the ADs. And these coaches have decided that they're going to go, or they decided, not these, they have decided, they decided, I should say, that they were going to go and do, some regulators, young guns, Western type shit and mount up. They decided that they were going to have some emergency meetings with some of the parents within their programs. Yes, these coaches. They can't say that they did not have the audio, okay? They decided they were going to have these secret meetings and they were going to form a boycott. They were going to talk to their parents. They were going to talk to their players. And they were going to decide if not to boycott. Okay? There was 4 schools. It's in the audio. 4 schools that said 100% they wanted to boycott. Parents and all. Very vocal about it. Okay? In this audio is one specific school, South County High School. The audio is of their meeting. And you can hear very clear, the coach, you can hear him very clear throughout the entire thing. You can hear some of the things that some of the parents say. You can tell which parents are closer to the coach, if you get what I mean. Because you can hear what they got to say very clearly. And the thing that struck me crazy about the audio is the one parent who had the gall to stand up and want to be competitive is the one parent they didn't listen to. Oh, yeah, there was a parent in there that definitely stood up and said, what are we doing? Why are we giving the trophy to Hayfield already? And I quote, Hayfield hasn't won anything yet. Quote, unquote, is what this parent said. Why are we already giving them the trophy? Why are we not putting the mentality in our kids that they've put in their kids? Why are we not telling them at home that they bleed like we bleed and they strap up like we strap up, Pauls? Why are we not telling them? Why are we as coaches not putting that mentality in the kids at practice? That's what the parents said. That is what the parents said. After he said that and gave that valor speech, they went on about their conversation, their plot, and their plans on how to get Hayfield removed, as if that man just didn't sit there and say a word. Which furthermore lets me know this isn't about winning games with these coaches. It's not. Because only one can win. This is personal. This is personal. And I get it, especially if I'm South County. Your players been getting beat by PME since 6U. Some of your players, Hannah, that is a great comment. I'm going to pull it up in a minute. But I get it. South County. Y'all been seeing these kids since PME. I get it, bro. That's a lot of years of ass whoopings. You've made it personal. And now they got to play. And then they have to go to another meeting on the 4th. And this is exactly what has happened. That's exactly what's happened. Nothing happened in Freedom, just like nothing's happened here at Hayfield. Parents made a choice for their children. So, and that's what I got to ask you folks. How are you going to tell a parent where to take their kid? If the parent is following the proper steps if the parent is following the proper steps, if a parent decides to go sell their home here and buy their home there, if a parent decides to rent an apartment over here and live over here so that their kid can legally go to school with a coach that they've been a part of and a coach that they've been with since they were 6U. Again, y'all keep forgetting, these kids you're talking about, they only know Coach Overton, whether it be Durrell or Jeff. They only know Coach Cody. They only know Coach TJ. Y'all making it seem like the Overtons are out here during the offseason making house visits. It's weird to me. Brendan Hughes just said that the meeting got moved to next Tuesday, the 26th. It's unbelievable how they're pushing it. They're doing all they can. They're doing all they can, and it disappoints me. And again, I put the rules up as to why it was overturned in the courthouse. It was overturned in the courthouse because VHSL went in there based off of thoughts, based off of opinion. They didn't go into that courtroom with facts. They went into that courtroom based off of their opinions, based off of what they felt. That's not a reason to ban kids from playing football because of your personal opinion. Because if that's the case, then I feel like the VHSL board that they have in place right now should be banned for breaking their own rules, for not following their own regulations, for overstepping their own boundaries. If we're going to talk about opinions and feelings and personal thoughts, that's what I personally feel. I personally feel that these coaches who are supposed to be leaders, who are supposed to be leading their players into combat and competition, I feel like the fact that they're pressing the issue and having these meetings and talking the way that they're talking in this audio, oh man, this coach in this audio, oh man, he had a lot to say. A lot to say. Oh, the coach in the audio had a lot. Now, one fact. How do you ban somebody based off your opinion? And then when they hit you with the legal, okay, you want to use your opinion to try to stop us from doing something that we are rightfully supposed to be doing. So let's go ahead and let the judge decide. Let's let somebody that doesn't have a dog in the race, let's let somebody that's not even involved in VHSL, let's let him look at all the evidence, physical facts, not opinions. And let's let the judge make a decision. And he chewed y'all alive because you came in and you played with his time. You came in and you played with his time. It doesn't make sense. So again, that's why I titled it The Witch Hunt, because that's what it is. It's a witch hunt at this point. And we're not going to say beat. And I'm going to choose my words wisely because people will twist words up. Like everybody's still talking about this as a transfer issue. This is not a transfer issue. The transfer situation was dead August 22nd when the final two individuals won their appeals. When the other three individuals who were told they were not eligible to play decided that they wasn't going to play, but they still stayed at the school. The transfer issues were done at that point. It became a personal issue when two young men who were not cleared in the beginning won their appeal against VHSL. And that's when it became personal because of Mr. D.E. And for those who know, they know who D.E. is. Someone who was in their feelings because they didn't get the job that they thought they were going to get has pushed this issue to where it's at now. And parents in other schools who were pressed to win a state championship that you wasn't going to win anyway, with all due respect. And then all of you people, let me make this very clear. All of you individuals and all you people that are talking about it's not fair to Robinson and it's not fair to da-da-da. Robinson won 3 games this year, people. Stop using Robinson as your scapegoat. Stop using Robinson as your means of transportation to do the bullshit that you're trying to do to the students at Hayfield. Chad Ricardo, I loved what you said. You're right. We have to have the same passion for all the kids. And with that being said, we have to have the same passion for the kids that have earned the right to play in the playoffs. Hayfield's kids earned the right to play in the playoffs, not Robinson. Robinson won 3 games. So you explain to me, or anybody else explain to me, why you're so pressed to have a 3-win team in the playoffs and not an undefeated team. Let's have the kids in the playoffs that earned it. How about we do? Let's have the kids in the playoffs that earned it. How about we do that? How about that? How about we stop going based off opinions? How about we stop speaking on things if we don't know what we're talking about? And clearly I do. I got I got all the good stuff. I got all the info. I'm dropping names and I'm dropping numbers. So you know I got the info. You know I have the info. I'm not just making shit up because my buddy at the bar said such and such. So again, the fact that these coaches who are supposed to be leaders and teaching these kids how to face adversity have come together to create this witch hunt, that have come together to create this witch hunt. And the reason I call it a witch hunt is because you literally have 6 or 7 coaches, 6 or 7 schools trying to come together, parents trying to come together to stop one group of coaches and kids from playing in a playoff that they earn the right to play on. That is weird to me. And before I play this audio, one more thing before I play this audio for y'all. Y'all wasn't going to beat. You take Hayfield out the equation, nobody in that conference was going to win a state title. Let's just be honest about that. We talking 6A. You take Hayfield out the equation, nobody in that conference was going to win a state title, bro. What are we talking about? None of y'all were going to beat Battlefield. And none of y'all was going to beat Verona. None of y'all going to beat Holland Springs. What are we talking about here? Seriously? So, with or without them in the playoffs, it doesn't change your end goal. It doesn't change your ceiling. Your ceiling is going to be what it is. Your ceiling is what it is. At least with Hayfield in there, your district might win a state title. But without Hayfield in there, you win nothing. Oscar Smith, correct. Like, you're not going to beat none. Like, so again, you're doing all of this because of personal reasons. And somebody needed to say it. And I see all of you Prince William County dick holsters. I see all you Prince William County folks who are so happy that this staff is no longer at Freedom. I see all you individuals who are some of you are so upset because you wish they had been gone when you were still coaching. Let it go. It's not your problem now. Let it go. Stop being so concerned with what's going on in Fairfax, Prince William. You worry about the other schools in Prince William that's still doing it. Because I know a few schools personally that have kids that I know personally that aren't supposed to be at their school. So again, I suggest Prince William County, y'all set this one out. Leave this one alone. And when I say Prince William County, I'm talking about some of the coaches and the parents and the fans who be on the Facebook groups talking real reckless because they don't even know that the same shit's going on in their own backyard. So again, I just wanted to come live, clear up a few things, just a few things. This is not an ongoing transfer issue. That was dead August the 22nd when the district investigation cleared all the kids to be eligible that were supposed to be eligible. This didn't become an issue. Everybody's wondering why VHSL didn't get involved. VHSL has been involved since the beginning. VHSL has sat down and had 13 different meetings about these kids being cleared. They've been involved. So for those of you that's wondering why they're just getting involved, they ain't just getting involved. They've been known about all of this. They've been known about all of this. which is why they looked real crazy when they went in front of the court, which is why it got overturned. Their ban got overturned when they went in front of the court. The whole issue isn't about no transfers, people. It's about a intern, athletic director, who got mad that he didn't get the job. So he started running his mouth. I know this to be a fact. And those included also know this to be a fact. So can we stop the narratives? Can we please stop the narratives about the transfers? It was not 30. Only 11 transfers were eligible to play football. Only 5 of those 11 were starters last year. A lot of y'all are bitching and complaining. You don't understand that they've added people to the transfer list that were 8th graders last year. So they've counted a lot of the freshmen. That's not a transfer. You can't count an individual that was not a member at a school, at a member school. You can't count it as a transfer. You get me? You got me. So again, just to clear it up, man, a lot of y'all, as my sis said, a lot of y'all is using this shit as clickbait, but you're not putting out the facts. Put out the facts. Put out the facts. Dave, the fact is, bottom line, Hayfield High School did what they were supposed to do. The kids that were eligible to play did what they were supposed to do. The kids that were ineligible to play did not play. The fact is, it was not a 30-kid transfer. They fabricated and they added to that list. The fact is, Hayfield beat 2 local investigations, and it was not VHSL's responsibility to try to enforce a ban. The fact is that a judge understood that in the courts, and he overturned that ban. The fact is, now you have a bunch of coaches who are scared to compete, trying to come together to figure out a way to stop one individual and his team from playing in the playoff. Those are the facts. And if you don't believe me, don't talk. Just listen.
And then, yeah, and like I said, all it takes, they don't serve his fight. They don't play the game. They've been here playing for the last 3-4 years, and let's call it this. And if it's up to them, I support them 100%. They don't. But I would hope that they would decide that they would.
And I guess my deal with the kids is going to be, I'm not 100% sure that there would be 100% agreement on the correct answer.
Already, yeah, some people,
So,
the integrity of it, they don't want to play. Yeah.
Then it comes down to, is it just you take the majority and you go that way?
What do you want?
Well, and I didn't want to be unfair to the kids, because I have 2 trains of thought. So I don't even know. My one train of thought is, if everybody keeps playing them, we're just supporting them violating every rule there is, and letting them get away with it. On the other hand, so I told the kids this today, and just from me perspective, I told the kids, I've been coaching high school football in Fairfax County since 1980, so that's a long time. I never felt like I've worked a day. I enjoy the hell out of what I do. I enjoy the hell out of coaching. I told them, people ask me, when are you going to retire? And I said, I don't know, because I don't know what the heck else I do. I don't do anything else, to be honest. I told the kids, as a kid growing up, and some of the stuff I didn't tell them, but as a kid growing up, so both parents worked in a factory. And so as a kid growing up, I literally, although completely loving family, but I grew up in the playground, in the rec center, in wherever, without babysitters, without any of that other junk. I also told them, I did not grow up in the most glorious of place. Okay, my family lived on the second floor of a house. It was me, my brother, my parents, and my grandmother lived on the second floor of a house. I told the kids, as a kid, I had nothing. Did I know it? No, but I had nothing. Any clothes I wore were hand-me-downs. I was fortunate enough in high school, because I was a pretty decent athlete, to get a scholarship to go to a private school. Went to the private school, played 3 sports. Went to college. Only went to a D3 school, Frostburg State, and things I didn't know. But when my parents had to do all the paperwork to see, like, how much you can afford to pay, okay, well, their number came back 0. So I was a full Pell qualifier in college. So went to school for free. Actually got paid to go to school because I got work study. My parents didn't, in the factory, if you didn't work, you didn't get paid. So did I ever, as a kid, was there ever a vacation? I didn't even know what a vacation was as a kid. Not a clue. I spoke at a banquet a few years ago, and it said the same thing. I've never worked a day in my life. When I compare my life to my parents, and I told the kids, my parents worked in the factory. They worked in the factory. They stopped working. They both got cancer and died. And it was and probably 100% all just from the environment they worked in. And so I don't feel like I've ever worked a day in my life. I do what I do. I love what I do. I would do it no matter what the obstacle is in front of me. I've coached other sports too, but coaching is what I do. And so, like, for me, you ask me, what do you want to do? Well, I just want to coach and the kids to play. But it's not it's not me. It's the kids that got to play. That's one of the guys that has been one of the investigators. As a person, yeah, I want to play. As a coach of the kids, I want to be their assistant.
A whole lot of facts. All of this just to say what? Wait, you'll see. Oh, it's gonna get there. It's gonna see. Wait till you get there. You're gonna see. Oh man. It's after he does his whole stew and skew. Right. After he does his whole personal spew, I guess he running for president or something. After he does his whole spew, then he gets into the nitty gritty. Then the parents get started. You'll see.
I mean, I think there's
just as the principals actually then are, oh wait, kids are walking out the door. Maybe,
right.
And
I think there is, and I guess the biggest deal
it ain't the wrong audio. I told you it's 30 minutes long. It definitely ain't the wrong audio. You're gonna see. This is the audio. It's the full audio. See, that's the thing. I didn't want nobody saying that I was chopping or cutting or editing. Nah. I'm playing the full thing. It's the full shebang. You'll see.
Oh yeah.
And so that's where I think, if something were to happen like that, then yeah, you get the news even more involved. I think that's the only way we're ever going to tackle this,
right.
Because just 7 football teams, when you have to play, I don't know, but if literally schools start walking out, and even schools that aren't even in our district, or
right, yeah.
If you had to organize to where first grade, whoever Hayfield place, we all collectively go there and walk out and do a demonstration to let our boys know that this behavior is not okay. Well, we have to stand as members and not just stop telling you for all the students that are willing to do it.
Right.
Show up to the Hayfield game and let's all walk out.
The only problem is we're all playing at the same time. That's the only problem. We all play at the same time. So here's my next question. Because I think we could probably create a poll on the team app for parents. I'm not sure the kids all use the team app, so I'm not going to say do it for the kids as well.
Hey, pretty.
Yeah.
What up,
Yeah.
though?
But here's my question. So I don't think there's going to be, I know there's not going to be 100% agreement. What do we say is what we're looking for in terms of the answer for what do we call agreement?
But if it's 50-50, 60-40, 75, like where's that number?
I think the boys need to make the decision.
What was that?
I think the boys need to make the decision, and I think the boys are the seniors and juniors need to be weighted more in this decision,
Right.
because it's next year.
What if two schools say they're in the end of 5? Particularly the seniors, they have no tomorrow. So our boys might say no, and then they have to go back and they say in the schools, and we still end up playing 8. Yeah. Because you're gonna meet all 7 schools. No, I said all 7 schools together.
Yeah.
And that's what I think it's gonna come down to. You might have schools where you say yes, and then 2-3 schools say no, and then everybody's playing Thursday night anyway. So do we just play Thursday night and just hope for the best and just? Are we into it? Are we in it for it?
My only concern is on Thursday for the Hayfield kids, because there's no way gonna go out there. Hayfield's gonna go out there as a kid.
Somebody just, so I can do, we can create polls for parents, so I have parental input. We can do that through the team app. I can create polls for underclassmen, and then the same poll but separate for upperclassmen in terms of what they want, and then take a look at that and see where we're at once we have those answers. What's that? Well, right.
So they still do so far, get that before early, they get kid out then. But it's no problem. That's just the first year. That's just first year.
I know we're from the area and they, whatever that is.
My Vernon parents they're going back and forth. They're doing the same thing we are right now. And they're saying, a lot of seniors want to finish up the senior year. And that's, I don't have any innocent on this right now. I'm on group chat with 4 other schools. I got Fairfax, Mount Vernon, West Springfield.
I would say, the Edison coach, I don't think he's putting it to his kids at all. No. He's gonna make a decision. But his decision, what he said was, either everybody boycotts, in which case he will, but if one school says no, then he's playing.
Another online thing real quick. Stallions just play. Life is not fair. This is a great way to teach them and teach them how to overcome an obstacle in life. Then we as adults, parents, and coaches continue to fight to make sure there is change, which will teach them another life lesson.
Definitely about 9 months.
That's just one of the parents.
Meanwhile, we thought we free. No problem. No problem. I got a team. I got no skin in the game next year. We're fine.
That's you, ultimately.
Yeah.
You can gather all your information, underclassmen, upperclassmen, parents, to get all the data presented to you as coaches, and you all just go, yeah, we were playing split too, and then you guys have to decide.
So that is another question. We understand your view. Did you see the consensus of the most regular coaches and what they thought?
I think they would. I mean, there's a few guys back there. I think so. Bottom line, like I think if you ask all these guys, they're fed up with the whole situation. But I also think if you ask those guys, they probably would say, we want to coach the kids and play. I may be wrong, but I don't know. You guys, speak up.
So, taking a look at a future standpoint as a coach, I think that's not at the same time. I want to see if kids want to play, I want to show them that I want to coach on it. Why do you think if he expects these doing this, why is VHSL allowing them to do this?
So the way the way this whole thing works in terms of hiring is each principal is in charge of their building. And so if our principal says you're fired, then I'm fired. If their principal says I want to hire you, I don't care how much you cheat, you're hired, then he's hired. The only person who can fire him, honestly, is the principal. But the superintendent can move people around.
There's a reason why you didn't go back for a third year.
But look, if I was the owner of an NFL team, you just want me to shoot back about Super Bowl, I'm not keeping it.
Well, and here's the other thing, whatever state, whoever wins state, it's not over. Like, just because they put that trophy at their high school in their glass case at Hayfield, if they win, whatever, it's not over. Like, we need to be persistent, and we need to, investigate whether it be the State Board of Education, State Attorney General, your state representative, get in the media, like what
that the other schools were having their meetings as well.
Tell the kids that. Like, hey,
some of the coaches were contacting him during
you may have lost the battle, but we're going to win.
is what he said.
We're going to keep being persistent and do all this other stuff. So
the individual in this meeting is the head coach of South County and his parents.
Still got to put a lesson on the field to play them. And that's why I said we got it back. Who gave them the trophy already? They still ain't won nothing. They might have beat us in the regular season, but if we remember last year, how did our season end last year? The same team we beat by 30 or 40 points ended up beating us by
or 50
playoff or 50 points. How much they beat us by in the playoff? They still ain't earned nothing yet. And we have to make sure it's a mentality. We got to make sure that the kids understand ain't no excuses. We going to show up. They got to strap up like we got to strap up. They're 11 now 11. There's 44 positions to be filled on that field throughout the game. Put special teams on. We got to put that fire in them. It starts in the practice. It starts in the run. So if those kids want to show up to play, we got to make sure we put that fire in them at home, in practice, and at that game.
Is there any thought about all seven?
We're telling the kids we may have lost the battle, but winning the war was insane to me. Like, that in itself shows the personal vendetta.
I'm talking future. They already got some battle to get them back in. I know that's real again. Everybody said, feel like I've been learning. To do like a scholarship or something, right? Something they got to get back with something wrong. They investigated to clear up and they're not clear. So they have. So therefore, who are the students in, like Hayfield, Carolina students, all of the students are the students the same way.
Especially Robinson.
Yeah, that's a really bad screwed over.
Like all of those kids in that post.
So they're going to it's all about the money. That's why I said, hey, it's about the money. So Hayfield has to get a $4.1 million or $5 million. 8 schools found $5 million, $20 million. I think these schools are the same thing. And have scholarship for something to go for these kids. They don't get the money back or he feels very close something. He wrote.
No, I agree.
But this is trying to get education, right? I think someone over there referenced something about $4 million in hospital. It was to provide what? The Hayfield parents for soon somebody?
Yeah, but one point for
So, as it relates to Overton and the school board and the principals, who is the next authority to make a decision against them? Fairfax County line? Is it the superintendent?
No.
Or who is it?
So the real answer is the assistant superintendent, who also is involved in allowing it to happen.
So that's who we sue. Just answer your question.
So she is the one. She knows exactly what they're doing. In fact, her and the principal are friends from when they worked together in Richmond and came up together. Michelle Boyd.
And there's more kickback to
All right, so we pretty much want to do what they were reporting their
So here's just to give you a bottom line, or if there's closure, I don't know, but I don't want there to be a distraction for the kids from practicing and doing what they're doing, because regardless of anything, we're still preparing to play a game right now. And if I let a distraction take their minds away from preparing for a game, then I'm not doing what's best for their best interests. I don't want to have 2-hour-long meetings with the kids to try and get it hashed out, because I think it only muddies up the waters even more. I do think maybe a poll of the kids is probably going to be the best. And again, maybe just a poll of just the seniors, and then a poll of every other kid, and to get a better sense of what they want. And then I can present that to the other coach. My phone, honestly, it's been nonstop the entire time. While we're meeting, during, you name it. So there's a lot going on at other schools just like this right now.
Do you have a date or a time for a deadline, we'll make final decision by?
Well, we told in the letter, we said Thursday. By 5. We've been talking since Friday, 24/7. Everything I have on here. Make a decision prior to Thursday? Yeah, at some point, I've got to pull the plug and say we're either doing it or we're not. But then, it's a tough question now, because I also have to take into consideration all the other schools, because we have agreed to take into consideration each other.
Coach, let me just say this. I said earlier, I'm not in favor of playing, and I maintain that.
Sure.
Whatever you decide, I support you and the kids.
Yeah.
I will show up Thursday at West Springfield and cheer Malcolm and all the other seniors on, even if I don't want to be there,
right,
because I think this is wrong.
Right.
but you've got my support.
Thank you.
Yeah. To that, and what do you, your coaches, and the boys need for us to fully show our support for you all? What do you need from us? Because that's what we do.
I think the biggest thing would be just support at the game. I mean, I think we're.
Our program next year is allowing I mean, it'll be all or nothing, so I have to do it to everyone, but
Right.
are there,
Nobody has officially said that, no. I would think, and I don't care, to be honest. I mean, I do, but I don't. But I would think if I said we're forfeiting, our principal, who is do nothing, would say you're fired. But I'm willing to be fired. I don't care.
So you're saying if you say no, we're not playing, you think this principal will terminate?
Probably.
Then we say, that's what we, then we go out.
He told me this morning he does not support a forfeit.
So should we be emailing him too as well?
Yeah.
Probably be a good idea.
That's probably the
And he didn't say he would fire me, but I would sense he.
As an educator, that you were going to ask the players' input, and so even if you come with the players' results, you won't do what's potentially in the best interest for students.
I don't think so. I think he's
trying to do his job too. No, his
Well, and I understand that because my neighbor, like I said, was reassigned, and she's not very happy under his school. So I get his fear, but I still have to do as an educator what's best for kids.
100%. Yeah. I mean, you are, so you know, you understand, so yeah.
Job and I was saying like kids supporting lots of students getting fired, it's just a lot more got fired than I know they love it. I don't really realize that. He does support you and support the decision you guys made.
Is there a football letter that we need to draft and it can be signed by all the
Probably would be a good idea.
the principal?
Not me, I'm not a writer.
Beautiful.
Yeah, if somebody to write it, then like, get a computer, man.
I know somebody who's a really good writer. I don't know that she would want me to volunteer her, but she is.
I'm just saying if we had a letter signed by all the parents of the football team sent to the principal. I mean, I think.
But you guys decide to play, but if they decide to.
Regardless, just so they
know
that.
Yeah. No matter what happens, we need to support our players. And
Yeah.
Yeah, we can write that.
There was one to the students.
We go lawyer.
You don't need a lawyer though, it's just from parents. You actually don't want a lawyer.
Well, it's not going to represent as a lawyer, but you can word it in a way.
And I guess just an update if VHSL decides something tonight or something happens, send
So are we gonna, somebody's gonna put together a letter, is that correct? Is that what we're saying? Okay. And then I think the other thing would be because I don't know, the next school board meeting actually probably first week of December, I would guess, right? Yeah, so, right. It was just last week, I believe, right?
380,000 to 412,000. That's $12,000 a car. 388 and 412.
And just, hey, and not that it has anything to do with this.
Make more than President of
Hey, not that it has anything to do with this, but so you know, like, so she gave herself that big raise, and teachers got this little raise.
Yeah.
But guess what? Actually, it's a pay cut because they gave us a little raise and then they raised the amount of money you have to pay for insurance. So, like I know my daughter who works at the middle school said, Dad, I'm getting a $400 pay cut a month. I'm like, what? So they make it look good on one end, but it's really not. It really stinks. So, all right. So if any parents want to contribute, who should they, like, stuff to think about putting in a letter?
Yeah, I got that part.
Okay.
So can they drop a link to a way to contact whoever threw the letter? Like in a chat, email or something? Can they drop a link or a POC or contact information in the chat?
Yeah,
on the SAC team chat?
Hey, Ron. Yeah.
All right.
We'll get your email address to...
Yeah.
All right. It really stinks.
So, there you have it. It's crazy. I said for years, my partner, my brother, the wife, we've said for years here at Local Locker Room that this shit was a witch hunt. You just heard the audio yourself. Again, it makes no sense to me. They beat the in-house investigation. Fairfax County formal Attorney General did the Fairfax County investigation. Nothing was founded. VHSL overstepped their boundaries and tried to ban a school for not even breaking any rules. Because there is an individual by the initials DE who has decided that because he's mad that he didn't get the job he wanted. You mad because you didn't get your job. You just knew you was a shoo-in and it didn't go that way, which means you couldn't hire the coach you wanted to hire. So now you've got these coaches in these other schools all stirred up because of your personal feelings. You and the whistleblower. But it's been backfired because the courts have made their decision. Yes, it's another meeting coming up, but we all now know what this is. We all now know that it's a witch hunt. We know that the principals aren't even behind it with the other schools. We heard him say it at South County himself, that his principal doesn't agree with it, but he's willing to risk it all. For what? A state, a run at a state title that you wasn't going to win? Your run was going to be about as short as mine. I'm 46, broke up, fighting a sciatic nerve issue. So your run was going to be about as far as mine. You wasn't going to win. So all of this for nothing. Like the comment says right here, you're currently 4-6. So why are you crying about anything? Why are you crying about anything? Again, it's not a transfer issue. This is a hatred issue. This is a personal agenda issue. And a lot of people aren't happy with it. And as I said in the beginning, a lot of you folks that are out here commenting in the comments, you might want to talk to your coaches. You might want to check your roster and see just how many kids you got that wasn't there last year, that transferred from another school. I can name a lot, but I'm not going to do it because this isn't their fight. So I'm not going to put their name in it. But a lot of you parents and a lot of you coaches that I see commenting, you might want to set this one out. You don't want to keep poking the bear. And again, South County bitching about transfers when you got 4 Hayfield's former players. West Springfield, you got 1 or 2 of their former players. Fairfax, you got 5 to 6. And I'm not going to say no names, but I have them. You have almost 5 to 6 kids from multiple different schools. And again, there's schools in the 540, there's schools in the 757, there's schools in the 804, there's schools in the 703. that are all doing it. They are. Nobody's just bitching about it because there's not a group of urban coaches leading a group of majority urban kids to victories. That's where the real problem lies. This is happening in Fairfax County. They're not happy with it. So again, the witch hunt continues, man. There's another meeting or another board meeting, school board meeting. You heard him talking about it. Somebody came in the comments and said that the meeting had been moved. But there's another school board meeting coming up that was supposed to be December the 4th. Here it is. The meeting has been moved. Brendan Hughes just said the meeting got moved to next Tuesday, the 26th. So they're trying everything they can to keep these people out of states, and it's sad. But I don't know what meeting's going to override a judge. The fact that a former general attorney did his investigation, nothing was found, and the judge overturned VHSL, and you guys are still fighting the issue, it just lets me know that this is personal. This has nothing to do with transfers. This is a witch hunt. Y'all don't like the staff. It's just that simple. With that being said, man, I appreciate y'all tapping in. As always, it never changes, man. Local Locker Room, where we give y'all the info you want, the info you need, the info you should have. This one I had to go live on. Like I said, I've been involved since day one. Since he got the job. I've done multiple interviews with him. I've been in the articles because they didn't know what they were talking about. I'm going to come on here and give you the facts. Not fiction, not opinion. Facts, because that's what matters the most. And on that note, man, I'm out of here.